Hi, everybody. Welcome to The New Normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Queen Lisa, and today I am coming to you live from Crypto Nanas. We're here for Christmas and to spend some time with her. I hope you guys are getting to or have plans to spend some time with your family. I am going to also spend some time with my dear friends. So I'll be right back with Satoshi Sean right after this. Merry almost Christmas. How are you? You're muted. You're really muted.
Yes. No, I'm muted. Okay. I have to connect to the chat, which is weird.
Oh.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, that's making me go through all these weird steps.
That's weird.
I wouldn't even let me see the chat or anything until I connected to it.
They did have an update for me. Like I had to accept cookies when I logged on. I don't know if that's different.
That's weird. I had to give it access to like my Google account there, which it has from my StreamYard. But now, like anybody we have on to see the chat's gonna have to give access to their. Like if you have a guest, that's weird.
That's new.
That is
had an update or something.
So what are we going to go over today? What truth are we going to talk about today?
So, okay, I have a truth that I think is a little known fact to start things off because I was quite shocked by this. What would you say is the national bird of the United States?
Bird? It's the eagle.
It's actually not.
I'm pretty sure it is. There was a large debate. Ben Franklin wanted the turkey because he thought it was a much more noble bird.
This is what I remembered.
It ended up being the eagle, but he said it was a vicious, mean thug of a bird, and he wanted the turkey because it was noble. And
okay, this is what I remembered being taught in school and thinking and all this.
Jake Crypto says wild turkey, yeah.
Yeah. So I remembered that whole story. So the eagle, it had never went through the House. It never became a bill and a law.
They probably never signed. They're big birds. They're huge. They can't go to your house. They'll wreck it.
Yeah. We have them flying over the lake here all the time.
A bird in a china shop. I mean, a bird.
An eagle in a china shop. Yeah. This really shocked me. But so just this legislation was passed by the Senate in this July, just passed 2024, and passed in a voice vote in the House on Monday, December 2024.
It's interesting because you know how it's like one of those things. Like, do you know about there's only president can only serve 2 terms?
Okay.
Right. We learned that in school.
We learned that.
Why? Why is it can only serve 2 terms? What did you learn?
Oh gosh. That's been a while.
I learned it was because they just kept reelecting George Washington.
Okay,
like,
I do.
We love you. And he
said, didn't want to be actually.
He said,
right?
I just fought a war and watched men die and killed men, so that we would not have a king. And you're not going to make me the king or put a king in charge of the United States, because they were like, you're good forever until you die. We want you to be our president. And he said, that's not how this is supposed to work. So after 2 terms, I'm going to step down. And then every president after that, it was 2 terms, but it was never a law until like the 50s or it was, you can look it up when that actually became a law, but it was never a law. It was just something that nobody would do, that was like an unspoken rule. Which today, so many governments still have that. They have unwritten constitutions. That's an actual thing. Like we talked about, I've told you, it's like mind-boggling. But it was never a law. Okay. It was just something they did.
So Jay is saying Roosevelt served 3 terms.
Yeah. And then somebody else served 3, but they weren't consecutive. Okay. So they made it a law. You can look up when it was. but it was fairly recent.
It was fairly recent.
Yeah, it was like at least our parents, our grandparents, lifetimes that it was done.
When did what would I say? When did
be something like that? But what I remember learning, like this big debate about the turkey and other birds, and they decided the eagle is the bird. And
no, it hasn't. It just so that's what I'm saying is so it's they go on to say, the eagle was largely led by blah, blah, blah. The bald eagle's long been associated with and a symbol of the United States. It appears on flags, insignia of our military, passports, currency, blah, blah, blah. But it's just now. It was a voice vote in the House on Monday, and it's been.
So why is there like state birds, but there was never a national bird? Like, what's the state bird of?
It was never declared the national bird under U.S. law.
What's the state bird of Oklahoma?
The scissortail flycatcher.
I think. Computer, what's the state bird of Texas?
Texas's state bird is northern mockingbird.
It's a mockingbird. But the buzzard is a protected bird. If you kill a buzzard, you go to prison. Yeah, dude, no. If you kill a bald eagle, you go to prison forever.
But it could be a protected bird without being the national bird.
But it's a federal crime to kill a bald eagle. It's not a federal crime to kill a buzzard. It's a state crime. Because it's a state protected bird because they clean the highways.
Well, it's just different laws under different jurisdiction.
Jay Crypto says it was in the 40s that they made that a law that you can only serve 2 terms. So, yeah. I think it was probably just one of those things then, but it's still weird.
It is strange because...
It also could be a lie. Our government lies about history.
That's true, too.
That's really weird.
It is weird. I just thought I saw that come across and I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, I remember learning about the argument to make it the state bird and how Franklin said it wanted to be the turkey. I remember we had a whole class on it, like what all the birds were in the running, and that we went with the eagle. It does sound very...
Maybe we need to ask Grok and see if it's...
ask why. Just ask why. Why is it now? Why wasn't it before? Why did we learn that in school? It's very odd.
Let's see.
Computer, what's the national bird of the United States?
The national bird of the United States is the bald eagle.
It just passed?
No.
Computer, how long has the eagle been the national bird of the United States?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the bald eagle has been the national bird of the United States since 1782, when it was placed with outspread wings on the Great Seal of our country.
1782. 1782.
So they're saying on Grok, it's saying the national bird is the United States, 1782. I said by law, and they're saying it was chosen as the emblem for the Great Seal of the United States.
The national bird of the United States by law is the bald eagle. That's the first.
It's not by law.
That's what it says.
What do you mean? Where does it say?
It's the first sentence in what you just pulled up. The national bird of the United States by law is the bald eagle. That means a law was passed to make it the bald eagle.
To put it on.
Officially designated in 1782.
Okay, so show me the law.
The national bird of the United States. the
See, the the designation of bald eagle as the national bird of the United States was not through a specific law titled as such, but rather through the adoption of the Great Seal. Here's how this happened. It was chosen as the emblem. This act of choosing for the Great Seal essentially made it a national symbol, though it's not specifically titled as the national bird in law until much later. However, there was recent legislation to formally recognize the bald eagle as a national bird. Bipartisan, just till 2024, officially designated the bald eagle as the national bird of the United States. This bill, which was passed by House of Representatives and the Senate, was set to be signed into law by Joe Biden, making it officially recognized, but it hasn't yet. For exact information, here it is, blah, 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 Congress 2324, to amend the U.S. Code to designate the bald eagle as the national bird.
I think it's one of those things that you can trick AI into giving you the correct answer, and something's changed. They're changing history. Because when you ask it, because it said by law 1782.
It did say it.
So
that's where I said down, bad answer.
Like you said, if you have a feeling, it's just weird. I got a gut feeling they're messing with something. Like someone put it's some kind of leftist agenda. This is something weird.
Well, and they had like here they have 7 posts, 15 web pages. Here there's no like text or what am I trying to say? Like sightings
resources.
Resources. Yeah, thank you. They just say, oh, well, this because I said so. Because I said so. Because I said so.
Computer, what's the law that says the bald eagle is the United States bird?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I worded that really shitty. Computer, what is the law that makes the bald eagle the national bird of the United States?
I don't have an answer for that.
Text. Oh, there it is. Text S4610. That's the 118th Congress.
It's this Title 36 U.S. Code, a bill to amend Title 36 U.S. States Code to designate the bald eagle as a national bird.
Computer, what is Title 36 of the United States Code?
According to Wikipedia, the United States Code is the official compilation of the federal laws of a general and permanent nature that are currently in force. Title 36 cover patriotic and national observances, ceremonies, and organizations.
I don't know. That's weird. It's weird.
It is strange.
Bill to amend Title 36 of the U.S. States Code.
So are they playing around? Is your suspicion that they're playing around in that patriotic?
It's got to be something that's in that Title 36. I want
in that Title 36 that they're doing other things inside that.
Yeah, because they hooked some shit to this. There's some things that are tacked on to this. Hey, let's make the eagle the official bird while under Title 30. Okay, and also no more Veterans Day or something.
Oh,
something. You know what I mean? Is something's in there? I want to read over this to find out. But that is interesting as heck, man.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked that one.
Because I remember, because we're all like a turkey, because it's like second grade.
Yeah,
it was the most funny thing we'd ever heard. Oh my God! Clearwater, Florida. Obviously, that's a scammer. No offense, Florida, but you guys are famous for that.
Yep. So that was my number one thing. I have 3 things that I wanted to share today, and then we're going to jump over to Sean's channel. I thought this was interesting. I won't do a lot about the drones, but there were 2 things about the drones. One was the bunch of video where all the electric cars are going off. And there's like, I don't know. There's all kinds of theories.
What do you mean the electric cars are going off?
So the like all the electric cars, like Teslas and whatever, they're like lights are going off and all that, all over Jersey and
You're
stuff.
still not telling me. You're doing jazz hands. Do you mean turning off or turning on and off or on?
Flashing like my hand.
Flashing. Okay. I got it. I didn't because drone people are saying, "Hey, there's a drone. I got a drone. I'm going to send my drone up to look at it." And before they get close, the battery's killed. The drone dies and plummets.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard that.
That's a lot. Like
Interesting.
like 20 people, and they've said, here, I set up a full battery that lasts 40 minutes, and as soon as it got within like 100 feet of this drone, it went dead, and it didn't die. It just turned off, and then the battery's completely drained. So that sounds like it's some kind of EMP or something. So it sounds weaponized.
Yeah.
Nothing's, because that's like the moon landing. I always talk about how I've never seen anyone like interviewed my whole life who was like, yeah, me and my kids watched it from our telescope. You know, we're all amateur astronomers and we watched the whole thing with our telescope. Nobody, everyone's like, oh, I was at a bar and we all were gathered around the TV, and me and my family were gathered around the TV. It's no one ever, and that was the thing. Like, I don't know if you remember, like you could sell crap in school, you know, you sold candy bars or whatever, you know, now, but when we were kids, so like magazine descriptions or seeds or whatever. And one of the prizes, everybody wanted the telescope. You know, everybody wanted to get the telescope. So everybody really liked that. And back when I was a kid in the 50s and 60s, it was even more popular. So so many people had telescopes. Why would they not?
Somebody have been actually watching it.
Just watching it, and then like, yeah, I watched it on my telescope, and it was so cool. You know, my whole life, I've never seen anyone say that in an interview.
Very interesting. So I have been following a lot of Dr. Stephen Greer's stuff, and so he has said, like, no, these are definitely military. And then Trump the other day spoke, and part of that is on this. But this was very interesting. This is another theory about this.
Really interesting. Okay, so we've got this nice family photo here. As you can see, you can recognize a few people, such as this guy.
They're all drawn.
This lady right here.
RFK, I don't know.
And then there's this guy right over here. This guy. Now, is this the same person?
We have to work together to be able to maintain as much agency, as much sovereignty as we can possibly legitimately maintain.
Such as this guy, this lady right here, and then there's this guy right over here. This guy. Now, is this the same person?
We have to work together to be able to maintain as much agency, as much sovereignty as we can possibly legitimately maintain in the face of the revelation of the existence of this extraterrestrial civilization. You know, the fact of the matter is they seem to be preparing now to potentially intervene directly to stop the thermonuclear war, and to stop the total devastation of our ecological systems on our planet.
That's a weaponized.
And that means that the intervention is going to reveal their presence. And that's what's motivating a significant number of people in the Pentagon right now to be coming forward, trying to establish a systematic process for a controlled disclosure about their presence. Because they believe that if in fact this is put off and the Defense Department continues to lie about this, then what's going to happen is when the intervention takes place on the part of the extraterrestrial civilization, it's going to be totally disruptive.
And then we have this statement by President Trump today.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. and for some reason they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
We
Wanna
should
know
come
the
down.
truth.
Why?
They're very-
intelligent briefing.
We should
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Anyway, so I had really thought, my opinion on it was that it was military, that they are our, like our
it's-
drones that are.
Yes,
and-
I think they are our drones mainly.
okay.
Military,
Well,
Is
Space
iffy?
Force, you know.
no, iffy. I have an idea what they are. I'm going to go into it on my channel. They're government, but military is a gray area where they could say they're not
This
and
stuff
get
is
away with it.
contracted with the military.
No, it's a 3-letter agency,
Okay.
but it's not the military. It's most likely the EPA or the nuclear whatever thing, that one.
That would make sense since they're saying the nuclear, there's like radiation levels are being registered higher in that area.
Yeah, I had the maps that have been changed they've been changed. And one of them I'm not allowed access to anymore, which is weird. Also, there's worse than Chernobyl levels of radiation in Canada, in the city, in Montreal.
Interesting.
And there was one in Vermont, which is,
Okay.
I mean, that's not like a joke. Higher than Chernobyl, 380 something rats. It was crazy. Because I've been watching that. But also, I mean, I think we're all dead. I think we're all going to die within the next 5 years. Everything's over. There's going to be another reset. It's time. It's been like 5,000 years. Just scientifically, it's been like 5,000 years. Time for something to kill everybody. We start over. Religiously, it's about time, or at the end of times, as far as other stuff goes. One of the big things with the UAP thing is when the government came out. Also, I think this is a huge distraction. This whole thing is a big distraction.
I believe it.
But the government came out and said that most of the aerial phenomenon came from the ocean. It came out of the sea. It's all underwater. So these flying saucers have always just been about space things and ETs and extraterrestrials up there. And now they're talking about how it's down below in the water.
There was
As
another
it is above, so it is below.
which they're talking about firmament. I found another article that said there's a large body of water found under the ocean, like a second ocean under
Yeah,
the
the second
ocean.
ocean under the ocean. Now,
Just a couple days ago. That was another big article that I found, but
Revelation says that when the demons come forth and the devil, he will come out of the sea.
interesting.
So it's always been something to kind of watch for. And now when the government's like, mostly they come out of the ocean, that is just, I don't know, like it's a weird feeling, like the bird being the national bird. It's just like, oh, that's something that I kind of always thought about. And when they said that, it was a click moment. We're like, oh.
There was a Tucker interview. Who was he interviewing with? Sean Ryan. And he said, I used to think that Christians were the kooky people. And he goes, and now I'm married to a Christian. And he goes, and I've become a Christian. And he goes, they're really the only people that know what's going on. And he said, now I realize like they're the ones that know what's going on. And
have you seen the new thing about Christmas?
the new thing about Christmas?
Yeah, it's been a war on Christmas. Christmas is bad. Christmas terrible. Don't say that. You saw the vice president who was like, "How dare you say Merry Christmas?" All
What?
that. You haven't seen that video?
No.
Oh, she's yelling, "How dare you say Merry Christmas? How dare you?"
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
no, I'll look it up for when we go on my show. But now, Christmas is not halal. It is not
I don't know what
halal.
that means.
Oh, it's approved for Muslims. So Christmas is not halal. But wearing green, red, and white clothes are now not halal. Giving gifts is not halal. Blah blah blah. All these drinking eggnog is halal as long as you're not drinking eggnog to participate in Christmas.
Well, I don't care. I'm not Muslim.
Right,
That
but
doesn't bother me.
no, but it bothers them, so that's why it can't be used. You can't putting Christmas tree up is not allowed. So doing those things violates, well, obviously Sharia law, but it is offensive. So like probably European countries and other countries, no outside decorations,
What?
nothing in your streets, that kind of thing, because it's offensive. That's the whole new. That's the next.
No. They're missing the point. It's that they don't get to impend it on other people, but everyone's free to celebrate the way they want to.
Kind of in the United States, but everywhere else where that used to be, no. Like there's one dude who's suing a pub in England because it's called like the green whatever, but it has a picture of like an Arabic guy with a turban, and he said that it's an offensive picture, so he's suing the pub. But that guy was arrested for putting out jihadist pamphlets and calling for violence. So this dude thinks it's okay to do that, to put that information out there, but this picture is not allowed. He should be paid. Also about the drone thing, Trump said to shoot him down, which you can't do that. That's a federal.
Yeah, don't do that.
You can't shoot a drone, even if a drone's coming and looking in your window and you think they're making
that guy in Florida got in trouble for that.
Yeah, you can. Well, he didn't get in any trouble. He had to pay a fine to.
He got arrested. What are you talking about?
He had to pay a little fine. No. But it's a federal crime. He didn't get charged with a federal crime. So you can't, like, if you have a powerful laser pointer, if you point that at an airplane, you go to prison.
Yeah, I think they put out a thing yesterday or something telling people not to do that.
Because all drones, I have a drone, drones are considered aircraft. So there's no legal difference between you shooting down a drone and you shooting it like a Cessna or a plane. It's the same thing. It's covered under the same laws when it comes to federal aviation. So you can't shoot a drone, even if a drone, and that's the thing, it's not on your property until it's at a certain level. So if it's over your property, you can't do anything. But also when it comes to this, I know I'm by Fort Hood. If I flew my drone over Fort Hood, it would most likely be shot down. Even if it wasn't, I would be in jail by the end of the day.
Well, and I've even heard people like flying their drones and then like the police coming over and like finding where and they get in trouble and their drone gets confiscated and whatever. Like if you go report it or whatever, like there are ways to.
You have to have a certain license for like most drones. You have to have an actual pilot's license. I forget what I was going to say, but it was. Oh yeah. So about the airspace thing, Patterson Air Force Base, New Jersey, they shut down the Air Force Base because of the drone activity. And there's like there's recording of the tower to these jet pilots that were like, you guys need to come down. We're closing the airspace.
Okay.
And that some law enforcement is going to sterilize the area.
Sterilize the area.
Yeah.
There's also just today, one of the bases in California, their drones have moved in California now as well. So something's up. I don't know what's up. I don't know if it's a big fear tactic thing, but
I'm sure it is a big fear tactic thing.
Wanted to mention it. The last thing I wanted to touch on before we jump over to your site was. It's that time of year again, everyone. You know, it's omnibus time. Here is Thomas Massey 3 months ago predicting, and I think we even played this 3 months ago. He gave a speech predicting exactly what they were going to threaten to do.
Christmas, and I believe this does fall on December 20th. Now, why have we picked December 20th? Because it's the same reason we always have December 20th. Everybody up here is human. There are no AIs or robots in Congress. When you get to December 20th, you're 5 days from Christmas. You're 4 days from Christmas Eve, and you desperately want to be there with your family. So this is when the leadership here has the maximum influence. And again, I'm talking to the Democrats and the Republicans, because you've seen it on the Democrat side of the aisle. They love to pick the week before Christmas for this showdown, because you can smell the jet fuel fumes over at DCA. It smells like Christmas, that you're going to get to go home and open presents. I've been in HC5 when literally the Speaker of the House, not the Speaker we have now, walks in and says, if you vote for this, you can go home and unwrap presents with your kids. And if you don't vote for this, you're going to spend Christmas here with Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
And then the chant starts, vote, 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 vote. Literally, people get enthusiastic to vote for something that they haven't read. So let me predict what we're not going to do on December 20th before I take a guess at what we're going to do. What we're not going to do, we're not going to do 12 separate bills. We are not going to spend this time. We've got a few months between now and December 20th. We could go back to working on appropriations bills. We are not going to do this. This sucker, whatever happens on December 20th, whether it's another CR to punt, to kick the can down the road for 3 more months, or whether it's an omnibus that funds all of government with one bill, it's going to be written behind closed doors. And every lobbyist in this town is going to try to attach their little thing to this bill. This train is leaving the station on December 20th. It's the only one that we know is going to pass. They call it up here must pass legislation. So everybody's going to try and get their little thing on this bill, whatever it is on December 20th, whether it's another continuing resolution or another omnibus. It's not even really a prediction that I'm making. I'm just telling you what has happened for 12 years, regardless of whether Democrats are in charge or Republicans are in charge. There may be a little twist. We may do half of a CR. It'll be a whole CR, and half of it will end in February, and half of it will end in April, and they'll convince you they got something more clever this year than they had last year. But it's going to be the same old thing, warmed over, written behind closed doors, rolled out here. We're not going to have time to read this thing. That's also predictable. And we're going to be told, vote for this and you can go home and open presents with your kids. Don't vote for it and you're going to be stuck here. And there will be people, it pulls at heartstrings. We are humans. And that's why I think it's really disingenuous or despicable, really, to pick 4 days before Christmas Eve to put this bill on the floor. The bill I'm talking about, obviously, nobody here knows what it is yet. And we're not going to have time to read it, but people are going to be inclined to vote for it because they just want to be with their family.
Anyway, so that's he wasn't wrong. He was predicting it, and that's exactly what's happening this week.
I sent you that link of you can play that real quick. It's only like 17 seconds.
Sure.
But I can't believe you've never seen that.
Oops. I'm sorry. Got angry. Such an evil person.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Who's she talking about?
How dare we speak? And she went on and on. It was a bad clip I sent you. But yeah, she said it like a bunch of times, man.
Who's she talking about? Children.
Illegal migrants, children,
Oh,
DACA people.
no, I thought they were so happy to be here.
How dare you? Sounds like Greta Thunberg.
What? Oh my gosh. No. What's happening? Stop it. Oh my gosh. Horrible noise. I thought that was something ringing at your house.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Well, we will see y'all over on my channel. See you
All
guys.
right. Please give me a like before you go.
Yes.
I would appreciate it. And yeah. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
God bless you. Merry Christmas. All right. See you guys over on Sean's channel.